Hey there. So this is my homework number 2, which was supposed to be kind of more of a show and tell rather than an 8-minute sequence. So for exploring how we can activate the deep core and then layer on the more functional core like the rectus abdominis, we'll come to our backs. So have a little cushion for your head, which even the head being slightly elevated can help you activate the deep core through this type of work. So coming onto your back, begin with the knees bent and the feet planted, just bringing the hands to the belly. And just to start to connect to the core, cinch in around your waist, draw the belly in, and then direct it up towards the ribs. And then just barely float the pelvis up off of the floor, creating a little bit of traction through the lumbar spine, finding that sense of an upward lift of the core. And we're not lifting very high in this at all. This is just intended to start to kind of fire those neuromuscular connections and kind of awaken that deep core. And then go ahead and lower back down. We'll extend out through the legs. And on an inhale, reach your arms all the way back behind you. You're going to point through your toes, and now just allow the belly to stretch. You'll feel that curve in the low back increase a little bit. And these will be small movements to start to connect you to your core. So first, start to push the heels forward. Lift the toes so you're firming through the front of the legs and feel the pelvis start to move into maybe a more neutral place. Feel the belly start to lift and draw up towards the ribs. And again, moving really slow here, you're going to ground yourself through your left leg. As you slowly pick up your right leg, you can point your toes, and like you're moving through Jello, kind of painfully slow, start to bend your knee, using the deep core to pull your knee into your belly. So you should feel that core really activate. You'll feel those hip flexors turn on as you pull that hip into flexion, but take a moment to connect to your core, holding the leg in space. Then go ahead and wave your arms down. Catch hold of your knee, give it an extra squeeze in. Take a deep breath in as you push your right knee forward into your hands. As you hold your breath, pull your belly down. Really connect to that deep core. Then exhale, draw the knee in. Now we'll tap into the rectus abdominis, some of those bigger muscles. And as you lift, even just release the arms down like you're reaching for your toes. Then slowly release your head back. Float your arms up, float your right leg up. Again, we're going to tap into the deep core again now using those stabilizers to slowly resist gravity as you stretch the right leg all the way out. Take your arms back overhead, take a deep breath in, and just compare here, one side to the other. Allow the front line to stretch. Begin with those toes pointed. Let the belly stretch, feel that curve in the low back so we can really feel the contrast. As you exhale, slowly flex your feet, drawing up from the tops of the feet through the quadriceps, finding that lift of the deep core. And then slow and controlled, start to pick up your left leg. I like to point my toes here, and then just using the deep core to pull the knee into the belly. Everything's really strong and stable. Using those hip flexors to pull in maybe a little bit more. Reach down, catch hold of your knee now. Take a deep breath in, push your knee forward into your hands as you hollow and pull the belly in. Exhale, release that, draw your knee in, then lift the head, lift the shoulders, reach the arms forward, now lifting with the more functional line of the core. Slow and controlled, stretch your leg up into the air. Reach your arms up as well as you rest your head back. Same thing, slow and controlled. Release the leg all the way down. And then just take a moment here to stretch out. And just notice any shifts in the body. Obviously, you can do more rounds of that, but for time's sake, we'll just stop there. And now moving to kind of the second show and tell for the scapular glide. We're going to do what I call rainbow rolls. So we'll roll onto your right side. I like something underneath the head for this. And then you're going to extend one arm out and the other arm on top. And so just to begin with, just lift that left arm up just about a foot from the other arm. And then reach forward, feeling the scapula draw away from the spine, feeling that nice little stretch between the spine and the shoulder. And then moving really slow, start to reach your arm overhead. And feel this sense of length here for a moment. And I'll connect to the scapula. And instead of moving from the arm, moving from the periphery, really move from the core of the body to roll you open. So the spine will rotate. And then your arm's going to wave open. And as it comes to T, now the scapula is going to draw and tuck in towards the spine a little bit. And then sweep the arm down. It's going to depress or draw down a little bit. You'll roll back to your side, find that little bit of a reach. And then as you reach the arm overhead, feel that scapula elevate. And then as you roll open, it's going to start to glide back down and in. And so just keep moving with these. As always, slow is better. You can even just close your eyes, thinking of moving from the inside out. So the arm is just following this rotation of the spine, following the movement of the scapula, and just feeling the way, hopefully, it glides around the surface of the ribs with ease. But if there is any stickiness, then you can just make your movements a little bit smaller. You could even bring a hand to the shoulder and really just isolate that movement in the scapula rather than worrying about the arm quite as much. You can open up into a twist. Draw that top knee into your belly, roll onto your back. We'll just roll right over to the other side. One palm on top of the other. You can lift your right arm up a little bit. Reach out, feel the scapula pull away from the spine. Glide the arm back like you're reaching for something, and you'll feel the scapula elevate. And then roll the chest open, just let the arm follow. Shoulder can draw in a little bit here, and then down. Rolling yourself closed again. You can do a few more rounds like this, and again, you can totally experiment, maybe bend the elbow at some points as you move through that circle, if that feels good. You can also do the variation where you just bring a hand to the shoulder. Make the movements a little bit smaller, but really connecting to that sense of glide between your scapula and your ribs. Opening that arm out to T, you can roll all the way back to one side and up to seated. And namaste.